Hey y'all, it's Andy here, and I have decided to make the spring zodiac shift readings entirely free this season. I don't want there to be any paywall between us when the astrology is so wild this spring. So the shift readings for all zodiac signs for the spring season will be posted in their entirety here on YouTube and on my website, unseenhintstarot.com. You can access them either place. Now, these readings are meant to carry you through the entire spring season. So it's one reading for the whole spring. It drops at the spring equinox. I recommend watching it at the beginning of the season so you can kind of get an idea of the themes that might be showing up for your sun, moon, rising, perfection sign, Venus, maybe, since Venus is going retrograde, whatever you're tracking in your own astrology chart this season. Find the corresponding reading, watch it at the beginning of the season to get a little preview as to what your spring shift might be. And then midway through the season, maybe around April, check back in with the reading, rewatch it, because you'll be able to bring your lived experience of the actual spring, however it's playing out in your life, to that reading, and I guarantee it's going to hit different. And then at the end of the season, you'll look back and watch the readings one more time to connect the dots as to how you have actually shifted throughout the season and get that beautiful hindsight magic. It really is the best part. Okay. So happy spring. It is my gift to you, and enjoy the shifts. Hey Sag, welcome to your spring 2025 shapeshift reading, where we are looking at the shape you're shifting out of, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shapeshift looks and feels like for the spring season. I've got the Queer Tarot here that's going to show your shapeshift, and then we'll get into the clarification with the slow Holler, and we'll finish up with some advice from the Poesis Oracle. Okay, showing the shapeshift for Sagittarius this spring. We'll start with the shape you're shifting out of. What is the shape that Sag is shifting out of this spring? Okay, interesting. Four of Wands. We're just gonna hold that. Let's look at the shape you're shifting into. Okay, got it. Eight of Cups. So Sag, there's this vibe that you've been in, maybe Four of Wands is like having crossed a threshold of your life with someone. It's like a happy home, happy marriage, happy like celebrating life together in this like beautiful moment of stability, but also freedom. And like, it's this like happy, it's just a happy home card. And then you're shifting into leaving. You're shifting into some kind of transition out of a space where you've been maybe like pretty happy, but it's like, you kind of gotta go. Or there's something about that recent transition into happy home that is like, now you're focusing on emotionally moving on as that being like part of that process. I don't know, we're gonna have to get more cards to get into it, but I mean, you're clearly walking away from something. This person in the Eight of Cups is leaving those cups on the beach in favor of like, okay, going on a hike, going on a more solo adventure. And this could just be, Sag, that you've like recently sort of been in this like very happy home space with other people, but you're needing to kind of emotionally process some stuff on your own and like go off on your own. And maybe you need to be taking some solo hikes or whatever that is to kind of go get your like adventurous internal needs met. The moon is here, Sag. Okay. It's actually looking very much like an eclipse, and we are having eclipse season here. So eclipse season could bring some surprising impulses, some surprising like emotional shifts for you, Sag, that are getting your like, just like getting you wanting to kind of move on from something. Let's get another card or two for what this shapeshift looks and feels like for Sag. Wanting to leave it all on the beach and just go. Wanting some, of course, like getting to this place of newly crossing a threshold with someone in your, like with a relationship or with a home space, and finding like something more like celebratory safety and security. Like this in and of itself was an adventure to get here, or like is something that you are wanting to get to. The card that came out is Justice. You're wanting to find a more balanced space. This is Libra energy. Watch the Libra reading because it was very much like a collective reading, and it was talking about how the systems of justice or injustice impact us all personally, and like the collective experience and how that impacts us personally. Let's look at this together. So there's something that has been accomplished in one area of your life. Happy home, happy wife, happy life, Sag. Something has been worth celebrating, because it does look like these two just like, they got the flowers. It's very beautiful. They're standing in front of this gorgeous castle. Interestingly, they're on the same sort of black and white tile floor as the Justice energy. So there's been some state of balance that has been achieved for you, Sag. In relationship, in home space, whatever that is. And now eclipse season this spring, eclipses are happening in Aries, in Virgo. We're getting this Venus and Mercury retrograde in Aries and Pisces. So it could be stirring up and causing this need to, that seeking need, that thirst within you, Eight of Cups, that spurs you to want to be on the move now. Like now that something has stabilized, or like you have achieved stability in some area of your life. And so I wonder if the other part of your life also, there's like other parts of you that are seeking something else now. And maybe with eclipse season, you kind of they're like the catalyst that you need to leave something that you've emotionally invested in, 8 cups, on the beach, to leave them on the beach and hike up towards something else on the horizon that you don't really quite know what it's going to bring. You just know that like emotionally you're ready to make a shift. Cool. Okay, interesting, Sag. And for some of y'all, this could be a sort of unexpected. Okay, we're gonna use the slow Holler Tarot now. I love this deck. It's out of print, so it's a pretty rare find. I feel lucky to have a copy. But it was a collaboration of, I think, 4 Southern queer artists. 4 or 6 different artists approached this deck. That's cool. Okay, let's start by clarifying this. Let's start with the 4 of Wands. Shifting out of achieving some sort of like something worth celebrating in terms of happy home, happy life. Some form of like newfound freedom and stability. Yeah, totally. 10 of Stones is what I want to see to clarify that, because it's like shifting out of achieving stable, happy home. Like you did it. You found some sort of long-term stability that feels right, and it feels good, and it feels like you could go the long haul with this person or with this home space, whatever that is, Sag. And it's just right. It's like, yeah, this is my house, or this is my person, or this is my life, and I'm loving it, and it's feeling really good. 10 of Pentacles, again, that can go the long haul. Okay. Interesting. Tell me more. Four of Wands. Yeah. Okay. The storm. Well, this is more of like, well, it talks about a couple of things. Like this energy would come in and stabilize something that was perhaps unstable in your life. So again, like some element of your life has stabilized, and that is worth celebrating. But then this storm is coming in, which is eclipse season. Many astrologers, including myself, are looking at the astrology of the spring, specifically March, and going, okay, this is storm, you know, like this is storm energy. And the fact that I've placed it underneath the Justice feels like hearkening back to that Libra reading, especially if you have Libra placements. I would really go watch that. But it's showing a more like, because the Justice card is a major arcana, it's a little bit less personal, and it's talking about like a larger thing that's going on. So there is obviously right now in the US, like socially, politically, there is this storm in the justice system. There is storms that are upsetting the equilibrium and the stability. They're upsetting the balance. So maybe for you, Sag, the eclipses and the Venus retrograde and the Mercury retrograde, it's going to show you the balance that has been achieved and the areas of your life that are still kind of easily imbalanced. The scales are easily tipped when a storm comes. And that's spurring you to need to seek to leave something behind and seek something better. So let's get the clarity that we need for the Eight of Cups. Whoa, look at this. The Chariot was already flipped up. Yeah, it's like you're getting in your truck and, you know, you're taking your dog and you're gonna go find something better. There's this sort of larger impulse within you that's like, okay, something's gotta move now. Something else has to move because I've achieved this stability in this way. And that's great. And for some of you, it's and I need to find something more balanced in this other area of my life. And when this storm comes, which is the eclipses and the Venus retrograde, and starts shaking that up, the imbalance will be even clearer to you. And it will make you go, okay, like, babe, I gotta go, you know? I gotta go figure some stuff out. There's still some stuff that I need to find, and I'm gonna go get it. And there's a lot of like forward movement and momentum. The Chariot is in motion. This person is hiking up the mountain. Like we're going seeking the night sky, the eclipse. Okay, tell me more. Yeah, Two of Stones also keeps coming out for folks because the perhaps there's something in your life. Okay, I'm just gonna keep reiterating the story so that you get it. There's something in your life that is very much stabilized and amazing, because Ten of Pentacles is pretty unshakable. But then there's something else either about that thing or like a different facet of your life that is much less stable. It's not the Ten of Pentacles, it's only the Two. And it's like precariously balancing on the tip of your finger, and one little thing, even just like a little butterfly landing on that, could totally tip the scales and send you into this cycle death and rebirth. I've been seeing this as the North and South Node. South Node moving into Virgo, North Node moving into Pisces, and coinciding with these eclipses, which are catalysts for new beginnings and endings, and sometimes unexpected ways. And so I think when this eclipse season hits and that storm, whatever that collective storm is that we all sort of experience this season, it's tipping it's showing you how precarious the balance really was in this area of your life. And that's a revelation. That's like really revealing that to you. And it's making you realize like, okay, if a storm can come and totally tip this into imbalance, like maybe this isn't as balanced as I thought. Okay. And so I need to find more stability. I mean, the same cards keep coming out for folks. The same story is tipping something off of balance to reveal how precarious that balance was being held up by a thread, by like barely anything, and then like needing to like cast a spell for stability in that sudden instability. And because we're talking about stones, we could be talking about resources here. We could be talking about like financial stuff, the economy. We could be talking about like your material support systems. We've got the 2 of stones, the 10 of stones, now the 7. Any other cards you have are major arcana, the storm and chariot. So something is moving in your material life, in your material world. And the point is that you're seeking stability, a spell for a more stable future. 7 of stones. And the thing about the 7 of stones is it's static. This doesn't move. The stones are very specifically laid so that this net, this grid, doesn't move. And so I see it as this like stasis. But sometimes stasis can be stabilizing. And sometimes you have to make a move and leave something behind. Allow the eclipses to facilitate, catalyze this ending for you in order to move towards something that is more stable. It might be less, the 7 of stones is maybe less exciting in some ways because it's not, traditionally in the tarot, it's shown as someone having planted their seeds and like tended their garden, and now they're just like leaning on their hoe and they're like looking at their things waiting for them to grow. It's like the less fun stage of building a life is kind of just like waiting to be able to reap the harvest. The planting is really fun. The harvesting is really fun. And then the waiting for them to grow is like just work. It's just maintenance. But I think in the wake of this storm, maintenance looks real good. Like just regular, just keeping it regular, suddenly is looking really good. Okay, give me more clarity, please. Yeah, intersection is the Justice card in this deck. Watch the Libra reading, okay? This card also came out for Libra, both with Justice. So it's now just like the Libra reading, you've got Justice twice. So because this Justice card is called intersection, it's like you're looking maybe at the way that your life intersects with others, or like all of the different moving parts, because we have this mobile here, like all of the different moving parts in your life, the way that they all sort of fit together. You're wanting there to be this Libran balance and harmony to the way that you merge with others, or the way that your life, the different parts of your life all sort of are connected and flow together. You're wanting there to be more balance in that way. So that there's not this like whole other separate part of your life that does a lot of this, but then there's this other part of your life that's over here. And that sort of makes the mobile, if there's one part of your life that's like a heavier stone and the other is like, you know, then it like throws the mobile off. And so if you're wanting it to be more balanced, then they all need to be sort of the same size, the same weight at the end of those strings. Slightly different read from when this card came out in the Libra reading. Oh, the other card that came out is the Three of Wands, which is looking out towards and planning for your future. So I think especially like the storms that are starting to kick up in the collective environment, in the atmosphere, in the weather, so to speak, or maybe literally, that are like kicking things up. It's making you really think about your future and be like, okay, wait a minute. Like I need to find something more grounded. I can't be like so unpredictable or so on the move. Like I'm ready for this to stabilize in some way. And I'm willing to leave behind what I've invested in order to go seek that stability. Because I want my future to look brighter. We see this journey happening. Another sort of like eclipse vibe in the background. But we see this journey from bare thorny stick to just like starting to bloom, and then into like, okay, now we're really blooming. So I think you're looking towards the future, and you're thinking about like what's going to support you the best over the long term, and where you can really like grow and bloom. Even as like the societal structures that you're used to are shaken, are no longer stable. So you're like, all right, I'm gonna go find my own stability then. I'm hungry, sorry. Okay, any other bit of clarity for Sag? Yeah, I need to start thinking about my future. I need to start seeking more stability. Okay. 9 of Wands is a Sag, isn't it? Moon in Sag. It's tired. It's real tired. It's maybe like been in some place for some time. I feel like I just want to get one more card and then hold on. It's maybe like stayed in a space a little too long. But the 9 of Wands talks about being tired, being like just exhausted and like pretty much kind of dead. Just really like worn out by something. 7. Okay. Hold on. I'm just gonna complete your reading so we can just look at this. Let's look at the Poesis and get some advice for Sag. Okay, love. I'll get that in a minute. Love, open, and one more. That's too many. Oh my God. Let's try again. One more piece of advice, please, for Sag. Seek. Are you kidding? It just writes itself. Okay, let's look at this together. Let me grab this card. Okay, let's look at it, at the whole thing together here. So, yes, beautiful. 4 of Wands and 10 of Pentacles. We're in this beautiful, stable love space that is absolutely worth celebrating. Maybe there's this like loving relationship that has come into your life, or like beautiful home space that you love so much that in some ways is 10 of Stones, very stable, rock solid, not going anywhere. But there's a but. Either in this relationship, in this home space, or in your life, in a different area, that is sort of has you questioning a little bit with the 9 of branches and the 7 of branches. The 7 is harsh. I mean, we're seeing like bones, teeth, hard wood. It is rigid. It is just like this tree in the 9 of branches that like has sort of stayed stuck or stayed in place for so long, that it is a little rigid. It is a little like hard to move. And so things just start growing on it. And don't get me wrong, they're like reishi mushrooms, which are very healing and powerful. But this tree has been dead and sort of like fighting to stay in this same space for so long that it is a little bit like, all right, you're starting to grow some fungus on this. You know, there is this like maybe thing within you that is getting itchy, that is sort of like wondering if you should open your mind to other possibilities. And then something happens this spring that does just that. And it does open your mind. I mean, maybe your mind was already sort of open and seeking. And then something happens on the collective level that shakes the balance, that sort of shows you even more when the storm moves through. It shows where the weak spots are, and it shows even more how precariously things were balanced, and just how precarious it was for you to kind of maintain that very delicate balance, and that maybe things are not as equally weighted as you thought in your life or in your relationship or in the home space or whatever this is for you in the workspace. And so your mind is opening to seek other possibilities. And then that spurs you towards this 8 of Cups moment where you're like, okay, emotionally, like internally, I'm reading the writing on the wall and I'm seeing what's going on, like collectively, socially, politically, and like how it's affecting my life, my work, my relationships, my stability, my home, like whatever that is. I need to go, Chariot, 8 of Cups, seek something greater. And what you're seeking is 3 of Branches, a better future that is 7 of Stones, more stable, more dependable, something that, yes, will probably take some patience and might bring less movement, but again, in the wake of that storm, which kind of kicked everything off kilter, creating something, weaving something together in your life that can withstand those storms, even if it is a little more static, is looking really good right now. And so you kind of have to get on the move, leave something behind in order to seek that stability. And that's what you're doing this spring. That's it. That's what's happening this spring. This is a spell for stability and to stabilize what has recently shown to be not as stable as you thought. And so the beautiful thing is, like, the Chariot brings you to the next level of your life. And there is this really like peace, like inner peace, and maybe even enjoyment along the way of like, you know what, I'm actually ready for the next thing. You know, I don't know what it's going to bring me, but like, wow, what a great adventure it's going to be. And of course, Sag, this is your vibe. I'm ready for the next adventure, even if it looks really different from what I expected, you know, or even if it brings this like unexpected beginning or unexpected ending. I'm ready for the next level of responsibility or of my future, like this next chapter, in the name of stability. Okay, I hope that was helpful, Sag. If you need me and want to look at the cards more specifically for you, get with me for a personal reading. But otherwise, let me know how this resonates for you throughout the season as you watch and rewatch it and it carries you through this spring. Take care, Sag.